When's the best time to buy dividend stocks and why I don't do yung mga buy below prices? So yeah, let's go. Hi guys, Supilo here, and before tayo magbigyan, I wanna give a quick shout out sa ating channel member, new channel member na si Yvonne, and of course lahat ng mga channel members natin na who is still continuously supporting the channel. I really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much for your support. And if gusto nyong i-support din yung channel na to, again, there's a link in the description or my join button dyan in the description. You can choose to become a channel member to support yung channel. And we can create more mga contents like this one. So yeah, in this video, pag-usapan natin, when's the best time to buy dividend stocks? Kasi basically, sobrang dami mga different ways to know if it is the best time na ba to buy. And ano ba yung personal na ginagawa ko rin when it comes to buying dividend stocks? So yeah, let's get started. So the first strategy is to have what we call a buy below price. Meaning, if may gusto kang company na bilhin, meron siyang tinatawag na buy below price kung saan if yung price ng company below sa price na yon. Okay? So anytime, as long as may pera ka, you can buy that stocks. So let's say for example, there's a company, let's call it company A, tapos yung price niya is 90 peso per share. Tapos yung buy below price mo is 100 peso per share. Meaning, kapag yung price ng company na yun is below 100 peso, as of our case, 90 peso, you can continue to buy that company. However, kapag yung company magiging 110 na siya, so hindi mo na siya pwedeng bilhin. Or basically, you have now the option na, uy, sobrang mahal na siya based sa buy below price ko. However, itong buy below price kasi, you need to compute this one. And typically, investors, they have yung individual computation nila. So, yung pag-compute ng buy below price is that you need to know yung fundamentals niya. Is it maganda ba yung company? Ano ba yung intrinsic value niya? Tapos, add mo yung safety factor. So, may computation yan. And personally ako, I was supposed to learn about this one and I realized na, wag na. Kasi marami namang gumagawa na yun ito eh. So, if you notice, like Call Financial, meron na din silang list of buy below prices. And then, in Dragonfly naman, may mga signature portfolio that you can follow. May mga buy below prices na doon. And you can use that as a reference. So, ako personally, I decided not to do buy below prices anymore. Kasi anyway, other people are already doing it. So, pwede mo nang i-leverage yung ganun. However, if ikaw gusto mo talagang i-compute, ano ba yung intrinsic value ng company, ano ba yung buy below price mo, then pwede mo siyang gawin. But however, if you're gonna ask me, you can leverage yung mga research na ng mga brokers or yung mga experts. So yeah, yan yung first way to determine is you need to have a buy below price and then from that, if yung price ng stocks mo below sa price na yon, yung buy below price mo, then anytime as long as may pera ka, let's say for example on 15th, may pera ka na pang-invest and then below pa sa buy below price, then you can do that. Next, in the end of month, you have now investable funds and then buy below price pa din, you invest. Yung problem ko lang with buy below prices is that you need to follow yung right talaga na buy below price. Kasi ako personally, yung experience ko nito, let's say for example, for Call Financial, so like this was way before na I do buy below prices. I notice yung buy below nila is as long as nag-uptrend yung stock, you can buy. Okay, parang gano'n. And then, every time I buy, yung nangyayari is that mas bumaba pa yung price. Or, meron ding iba na yung buy below price niya sobrang baba. Okay? Sobrang baba na yung price ng stock nag-shoot up na. So, yung buy below price sobrang baba na I actually miss on that. So, yan yung parang naging challenge ko when it comes to following buy below prices is that minsan nagiging emotional pa rin ako even if may pera ako and then nakikita ko na yung potential na mag-increase yung price. Pero since yung buy below price sobrang baba, then I miss out on some opportunities. So if you're gonna do buy below price, make sure that you follow a buy below price by someone that you really look up to. Okay, so you need to choose kung ano ba yung ifa-follow mo. Again, sobrang daming mga computations out there. You need to choose the right one for you. Or better yet, you need to learn paano ba i-compute yung buy below price. So another strategy naman, second strategy that ito personally na ginagawa ko na is yung tinatawag na technical analysis kung saan you plot a support line and a resistance line. So, dito, hindi ko na i-discuss in details, but basically, merong tinatawag in technical analysis kung saan may support line. Ito yung price kung saan most people dito nagbabounce, dito sila bumibili. And then, meron din tinatawag na resistance line. Yan yung price people are willing to sell kasi para sa kanila, sulit na yon. So, if you're a trader, that's very relevant sa you. When to buy, when to sell. However, ginagamit ko yung technical analysis for me when to buy. So, let's say, for example, yung stock pa going upward siya. So, syempre, hindi ako papasok. Hihintayin ko muna na mag-dip siya ng konti. Chine-check ko ano yung support niya. So, kapag nakita ko, uy, nandito naman siya sa support, dun ako pumapasok. So, again, I won't discuss this in technical details talaga, but one way that you can learn when do you buy a stock is through technical analysis by buying on the support lines. So, marami pa dyan actually, like people buy kapag nagbe-breakout, people buy kapag yung may form siya, okay? But ako personally, I don't do all those technical analysis na. I just do the basic support and resistance. If nasa support siya, then doon ako bumibili. Kapag babagsak, even if bumili ako sa support, then ihanapin ko yung next support line. Doon ako na naman mag-aabang kung saan ako mag-buy ng stocks. Now, the third strategy naman is having a allocation per sector. So, what do I mean by that? So, meaning yan is that dapat meron ka ng certain percentages per industry. Let's say, for example, you have 20% in REITs, 20% in banks, 20% in industry, 20% in holdings, and whatsoever. So, parang ganun. So, may naka-percentage na siya. So, let's say, for example, ngayong sweldo, meron akong income, alright? So, when I see, okay, yung REITs ko parang nasa 15% pa lang. So, dito ako mag-i-invest. Alright? So, let's say, for example, yung banks ko, nakikita ko na nasa support line siya. So, dito ako mag-invest. Okay? And then, over time, nakikita ko na, yung holdings ko ngayon parang 30% na, sobrang dami na niya. So, I pause investing in my holdings, then I invest on my other sectors naman. So, basically, by having this certain allocation, so regardless of ano yung price, if nasa support ba siya, well, I'd still do doon ako mag-invest during the support. But, let's say, for example, yes, nasa support yung REITs, okay, nasa support line siya, pero sobrang baba yung investments ko, let's say, in telco, okay, so doon ako mag-a-add, so that makuha ko yung percentage na gusto ko doon sa portfolio allocation ko. Kasi again, even if maganda yung opportunity to invest in a certain company, I still try my best to be diversified. Kasi again, we don't know ano yung mangyari. So let's say for example, I'm overexposed to real estate and then nagka-pandemic, di ba? So basically, like, sobrang laki ng portfolio na ma-affected talaga. So again, I do my best talaga na naka-diversify siya. I value yung certain percentages and then based on my percentages, dun ako naglalagay. And lastly, the fourth strategy, ito yung easiest way in knowing when to invest is using what you call peso cost averaging. So regardless of price, you keep adding and adding and adding. So you don't mind na talaga if nag-go up ba siya, nag-go down ba siya. The important thing is na-average mo. Kasi again, the price of stocks nag-go up and down naman talaga yan. And minsan, na-average mo siya by just consistently adding on a regular basis. So, instead of like learning all this technical analysis, learning all this computation, buy below prices or whatnot, you can do simple peso cost averaging talaga. But make sure na yung ininvestan mo, okay, should be the right company also. Kasi baka nag-peso cost average ka tapos pababa yung stock na ininvestan mo, di ba? So again, peso cost averaging, still very powerful, gives you stress-free kind of investing. And since it's dividend investing, yun nga, add ka lang ng add and you continue to receive dividends. So very stress-free strategy. If you want to know when is the best time to invest, peso cost average na lang. So simplest way to know when to buy dividend stocks. So yeah, yan yung 4 strategies on how or to know when do you actually buy mga dividend stocks. So ito, meron kang buy below prices or you do technical analysis. So kapag nasa support, doon ka bibili. Or yun nga, certain allocation. Let's say for example, kulang na kulang yung REITs mo, then syempre doon ka mag-i-invest more. Or you just do peso cost averaging. However, yung peso cost averaging is actually one of the easiest way, but kailangan mo pa rin pumili ng right dividend stocks. Now, peso cost averaging, actually one of the best ways is you pair it with mga funds na, kung saan may mga professional fund managers na sila na yung pumili ng mga stocks for you. And what you do is just invest and invest and invest. And if that's something that you're interested with, I actually have the next video. You can check out this next video kung saan I share dito yung top 3 dividend paying funds in the Philippines that you can invest today. So ito yung mga funds na to, may mga professional fund managers na sila. And then, syempre, yung mga funds consistently nagbibigay ng dividend. So yeah, if you're interested to do peso cost averaging, tapos may mga funds na professionally managed by mga experts, then you might want to check out this next video and I'll see you there.